welcome back to a new episode of Virtual Coffee. On this podcast, I interview and chat with small business owners where we discuss their journeys, perspectives, their businesses, of course. And sometimes I'll do solo episodes like today's episode where I share what's been on my mind and accelerators for you. So before we jump into it, as always, thank you so much for tuning in, and you can follow along Virtual Coffee on most any social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, etc. It's all at Virtual Coffee Podcast. Once again, thanks so much for tuning back into today's episode, and let's get right into this solo episode. So again, hello everyone. I wanted to hop on the mic, do a semi-unfiltered episode, a solo episode where I share just what's been going on in my life. I know I haven't posted an episode in a while, in about a month, if not a little over a month, which is crazy for me because for the past 2.5 years, I've been posting weekly. This year I started doing almost every other week, so reduced the frequency a little bit. But most importantly, I've maintained consistency. In this past month and a half, I haven't, which has been a little hard for me to accept. It's been hard for me to accept because I really hold myself true to consistency, especially when I tell myself I'm doing something. It's a project I want to maintain. It's a project I want to receive. I want to be consistent on it, and I want to deliver on my goals. So I wanted to just update you all. The podcast is not gone. It's certainly not dead. I've been keeping social media up to date. Instagram, I've still been posting. Facebook, of course. I've just kind of had a pause on publishing episodes. The reason for that is I've had quite a busy, really 6 months, but specifically the past 2 months-ish. So from the last time I posted, I believe that was an episode that I recorded when I was on vacation with my family. And since then, my husband and I went on a vacation. That was just a couple weeks ago. We went to Aruba. It was our kind of near end of year relax, just sit on a beach vacation, which was very nice and very fun. Definitely needed. We are now ready for our next vacation sometime next year in 2023 to get back to Europe and do our trek around Europe, do tours, walk everywhere, kind of active vacation. But for this year, we really just needed a do nothing, sit on the beach. And that's exactly what Aruba was. It was very, very nice, very relaxing. It already feels so long ago, and it was just, I think, less than 2 weeks ago, which is insane. So we went on vacation. My husband recently on the Aruba trip accepted a brand new job, so he completed his 9-month computer science software engineering boot camp, and he was on the job hunt for the past month, which was really stressful, of course, more for him than for me, but I definitely support him and involved in that process. So I was also very stressed for him. But alas, that process is over and he accepted a job, which is amazing. I definitely want to have him on Virtual Coffee soon to share his entire experience. So I think that'd be really helpful for others. Even if you're a small business owner, just understanding what it's like to take on a boot camp, to switch careers, to switch industries, to discover your passion. I think it fits nicely with the theme and purpose of Virtual Coffee. So we'll definitely have him on here soon, which I'm very much looking forward to. So he got a job, we went to Aruba, and probably one of the biggest things in my life that's taking up a lot of my time is I'm personally enrolled in a about 7-month part-time boot camp. And when I say part-time, it's about 20 hours a week, which on top of my already 40-hour plus week job that I have working in corporate in the healthcare industry, adding another 20 hours has been crazy. And I knew it would be crazy when I signed up for this. I knew that. It's totally on me. But lately it's just been wild because also at work, we're prepping for a very large conference, which happens this upcoming week. So hopefully after next week, some of the craziness will die down a little bit, enough for me to be able to publish some podcast episodes and record with some business owners, get those stories out there while keeping up with my regular job and my boot camp. But the boot camp has been very nice. I'm actually very happy I started that this year. It's a UI UX boot camp, so focus on user experience and user interface design. It's been really fun to go through, of course, challenging, and it's slightly self-paced. I do meet with my mentor on a weekly, semi-weekly basis. I go to group meetings where I can get feedback from others who are going through the boot camp on my designs, on my work, on my progress. So I am talking to other real people. But for the curriculum, it's very self-paced. You read articles and watch videos through the portal, and then you work on design projects. And that's been, like I said, just really fun to go through the end-to-end design thinking process, but from a designer's point of view. Because design thinking and UX is a lot of what I do in my normal 9-to-5 job. But up until this year, I've been really taking on that design thinking process and frameworks from a strategist, more business type point of view. And now this bootcamp's really allowing me to hone in my design skill set and be able to look at that process from a designer's point of view, which again has been extremely eye-opening and very, very valuable for me. My goal by taking this bootcamp is to be able to have the trifecta, if you will, of skill sets. So one of those being technology. From my technology background, I have a major in computer science and math. And then more of that business product strategy, that skill set that I have gained through my 9-to-5 job over the past almost 4 years. And then finally, completing this boot camp to have that third piece of the trifecta, which is my user experience, UI design skill set. So that's the goal, that's the dream, and I'm currently pursuing it. I am very proud of myself despite how busy it is. And the whole point of me updating you on all this is, one, to say I'm still here, the podcast is still here, I'm still continuing virtual coffee, it's not going away. But also to remind everyone that it's okay to adjust your priorities depending on the season of your life. So, for example, I didn't have to. I chose to pause virtual coffee for a little bit. Just put out episodes when I can, when I'm able to, but really focus on my 9-to-5 job, my boot camp, and of course, my personal life is still having time for my husband, still having time for my dogs and family and trips and vacations and relaxation time. That is my priority right now. Those things are my priority for the past month. And virtual coffee, I chose to put it on pause for a little bit. I'm still keeping up the Instagram, and I didn't feel the need to make this big announcement saying, I'm putting it on pause. I guess I'm doing that a little bit here, but I don't even view this as an announcement. I view it as an update of, hi guys, I'm choosing to drop virtual coffee on my priority list a little bit for the time being. It's a temporary drop in priority. I think our culture and society really pushes us to have everything as number one priority all the time. And I just don't think that's possible. I read once, it's a very common saying, I'm sure there's a specific quote for it, but whoever was saying that the word priority only became plural kind of recently, like in the past few, decades maybe. Before, it was a singular word because you can only have one priority. You can't have multiple priorities. As soon as you have multiple priorities, you don't have a priority anymore. And I really like that. I really like that mindset. I think it helps focus you in on a specific goal, a specific passion. And I think your priority, your single priority, can switch day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, right? One hour, my priority is my 9-to-5 job. For the next 15 minutes, my priority is getting my dogs exercise and walking them around the block. The next 30 minutes, my priority is feeding myself, providing myself fuel for the day by eating lunch, etc. So in my case, my priority right now, I'd say, is advancing my skill sets and career. And I'm doing that through my 9-to-5 job, of course, and by accomplishing this boot camp. So I just really wanted to iterate that and remind anyone listening who needs to hear it that you can choose your priority and you're allowed to switch your priority depending on your season of life, depending on how you're feeling that day, depending on how you're feeling in that hour, and that's okay. It also goes back to that book that I love. I did a podcast episode on it, actually reviewing it, but it's by Greg McKeown, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly. I never looked up how to say his name. And it's called Essentialism, The Disciplined Pursuit of Less. And that entire book is focusing on one thing, really understanding your why, really understanding your goal and going after it. And that it's actually less productive, less effective, less efficient to have multiple priorities, to try to do everything at once, because you'll never hone in a specific skill set. You'll just have a little bit of knowledge in many areas, which again is a strategy, but I do believe in crafting and honing your skill set around at least one, major area and going deep on that, and then having a little bit of knowledge in other areas. And that's why I, again, wanted to do this quick update episode, kind of let you know where my head's at. I'm really excited about what I'm learning in this boot camp, and I should be done with it in February of 2023. So that's coming up. I'll be done with it pretty soon. And I'm really excited to apply those new skill sets, especially my design skill sets, to the podcast. I'm considering redoing my podcast artwork, although I really, really do like my artwork, but potentially revisiting that, definitely redoing Instagram story highlights on my page. I've been meaning to do that for a while now, and now I finally feel like I have the design skill set to really do that. I kind of want to build a design brand and system around Virtual Coffee. I have the colors of, my logo and artwork and whatnot, but that was kind of just going off of feeling when I did that a year and a half, 2 years ago. And I want to be intentional with it based on what I'm learning at my boot camp, because you can be and should be very intentional with design and the experiences you bring to the world. So I view 2023 as putting much more intention behind Virtual Coffee and really continuing to grow the brand, continuing to support small businesses, keep promoting them, keep diving into the small business community. And I'm really excited for it. I think this bootcamp was a great refresher for me and is a great refresher for me and the podcast. So temporary pause, if you will. I don't even want to call it that because I do have recordings scheduled and lined up. So episodes will drop as I have time. And when I put the podcast on as priority over the next few months through the end of the year. But believe me, starting in 2023, once I'm done with my boot camp, podcast Virtual Coffee is moving back up that priority list, and we're diving into it even more. So I'm very, very excited. I appreciate you all still engaging in my content on Instagram, even though the episodes have been sparse this past month. I appreciate you following along and staying with me. And like I said, I'm really excited for what 2023 brings, and I look forward to ending out 2022 strong with a few more episodes with a few more different business owners. So again, thank you all so much for tuning in. I appreciate you. I appreciate you tuning in. And remember, you can only have one priority. All right, I'll catch you on the next episode. Bye.